We got big news. Cook Political Report. Today, we're making 6 changes to our electoral college ratings. Arizona, toss-up to lean Republican. Georgia, toss-up to lean Republican. Minnesota, likely Democrat to lean Democrat. Nebraska, second, likely Democrat to lean Democrat. New Hampshire is likely to lean Democrat. And Nevada is a toss-up to lean Republican. This, of course, following the disastrous debate and Joe Biden's performance. So here's your updated Choose 70 to win electoral college map, showing Republicans sitting at a likely 268 already. If this polling holds based on Joe Biden, Trump needs win only one more state. In fact, if he somehow managed to win one district in Maine or in Nebraska, which he wouldn't, then he wins. He gets 270. But Trump, it looks like he's doing well in, I believe he's doing well in Pennsylvania relative to Joe Biden. And then he's slightly up in Michigan and Wisconsin, but that's a little bit closer.
Wisconsin has always been, during this whole cycle, Wisconsin has been pro-Biden.
Mm-hmm. And now it's like 0.5 down.
The labor, I think you need to look at labor. The labor bosses hate that. All they want to do, they're like the old state legislature I served in Tennessee. A lot of those old guys, all they want to do is get through the next election. All they want to do is get through their retirement. But their members, I know a lot of Teamsters. Heck, the Teamsters have endorsed me in the past. When I was in the state legislature, you see them at church on Sunday. Yeah, they'll drink a little beer. You'll see them out hunting and fishing with you. They're with their wife and their kids, and they do not like that national scene. And I think you're going to see some of that peeling off in some of these states like Michigan, like Wisconsin. Wisconsin, they make Harley Davidson. There's nothing more American. It used to be nothing more American than that. I've owned a few in my life. And so I think you're going to see a change in that. The head of the Teamsters is going to be speaking at the Republican National Convention. The Teamsters were a Republican. You remember the history of the Teamsters with Hoffa. They got Hoffa out of jail, and then they endorsed Nixon. Mm-hmm. And they were considered sort of the Republican Union, more or less. But you're seeing more and more of that. And Trump knows how to deal with them, brother. He's, that's his deal.
Well, he's been working with unions for years in construction.
He's a tough-talking Yankee from New York.
He knows exactly how to do that.
Yeah, he knows how to do it.
My bigger concern with Michigan and Pennsylvania is going to be the shadow campaign that we will likely see from the Democratic Party, that Republicans will be unable to stop. And even if they file a lawsuit, the Supreme Court will cower with their tails between their legs and refuse to take up their responsibility to answer these questions.
Just like they did last time.
Exactly.
They refused to take up the case of, Texas suing Pennsylvania?
The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Mm-hmm. So I'm concerned that with Michigan and Pennsylvania, maybe Wisconsin had issues as well. So these are the 3 states right now in the polling that Trump needs to win. Well, unfortunately, Pennsylvania is acting in violation of its own state constitution with universal mail-in voting. A lower court ruled, and the Supreme Court of the state said, no, it's fine. Clearly, it is in defiance of how their constitution operates. Mm-hmm. There was no answer by the Supreme Court as to whether or not this state was breaking its own rules as per the U.S. Constitution. The state legislature shall decide. So we had a bunch of states that were in dispute, and the governors decided we're going to do we're going to run these elections the way we want. Supreme Court refused to answer, and now we don't have these answers, and the next election is 4 months away. My concern is we will see tenfold what we saw last time. Already, Missouri has filed a lawsuit citing original jurisdiction to the Supreme Court over New York's prosecution and gagging of Donald Trump. That's the first one, 4 months out. I think it's very likely come October, we're going to have 6 or 7 more. I don't know. Probably way more than that. But I imagine by the time the election's happening, these all the courts are going to be buried in lawsuits, and they're going to refuse to answer them. So what do we do? Because, I think you mentioned earlier that Democrats know the process better or something to that effect.
Yeah. Well, they wrote the rules. A lot of these things.
Democrats are not playing. They're not playing the game as to the spirit of the game. They're playing the rules to win.